Well, here we are, 225 Main Gallery and Wine Bar in downtown Bentonville, just off the square a couple of blocks. And we're here for an art festival featuring 5th and 6th graders from the Bentonville schools. And here, the sponsor of the event is the Bella Vista Garden Club.
That's correct.
And here representing the Garden Club is Marion Heath. Marion, I'm going to let you talk and tell our viewers how this came about, how's the Garden Club involved, and so on.
This starts with the state. It's the Arkansas Federation of Garden Clubs, and every garden club in the state gets all the contest rules and the date, its deadline, and it's out to all of the children all over the state from 1st to 12th grade.
The next one is Caitlin Littlefield.
Yay! Today we're celebrating more than our winners. We're going to celebrate those that were chosen by Bella Vista Garden Club as outstanding art from 3 different middle schools.
Well, just looking around at some of the art here, these kids are really talented. I have to give them a lot of credit.
Yeah.
I have to give the Garden Club a lot of credit too. Well, Barry, I'm going to turn this over to you unless you've got something else you want to add, because I know you want to talk to the teachers and some of the students and so on. So I'm going to turn this over to you and let you take it from here.
Okay, what I'd like to do next is invite some of the art students to come in to the Art Honor Wall. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 walls here. We called it one wall, but it's 4 walls of 20 pieces of artwork. And what we're going to do is meet some of these students and talk to them a little bit about their art. Okay, this is Lisa Hewlett. Lisa and I have known each other for the past 6 years because Lisa has been entering the contest. Her students every single year. And every single year, she has had at least one winner. So I have asked her to come today to talk to the parents, to the students, and let them know. You tell us your secret. Why do you think that is, that you always have winners?
Well, I try to get my students to think deeper on the level of just creating a bird. We first look and study James John Audubon and his work, his contributions to not only art but to science. And I feel like that he, along with my instructions, helps them to create their artwork in a magnificent way. So not only are they just creating birds, but they're creating with a purpose.
Thank you, Lisa. I already knew that because we've talked many times, and that's really why I wanted her here. It comes from her heart, and what she has to share, the children pick up on it. And as you can see, most of the work here is from the students from Lisa Hewlett, and what she teaches is reflected on these walls. Will is a 5th grader, and he did this piece of artwork. And Will, you know what bird this is, don't you?
Towhee.
Yeah, the eastern towhee or towhee. And what is interesting about your piece of artwork, Will, is that you did something I didn't see any of the other artists do. You really got into using acrylic paint. And you did it all the way through. And another thing you did, what do you have this bird doing here?
He's flying.
He is flying, and I didn't see anybody else choose, and that doesn't look easy to do. Was that something that was difficult for you?
Yeah.
I would imagine it would be, because everybody wanted to have theirs staying still, and you caught yours in flight. So tell me, how much art do you usually put into a day, let's say, outside of your class?
I usually draw in our office or in my room just for fun. That's really it. I don't really take serious art sometimes. I just doodle around.
You doodle around, and he doodles good. Congratulations for being on the Art Honor Wall, and thank you for coming. I love how this bird is framed. It's not just the frame it's in, you made it interesting by putting a frame around it. Now tell us what your thought process was when you put that frame of branches around your bird.
Well, I wanted it to look like it was sitting in a tree, so I just started honestly adding branches, and I guess it kind of turned out to look like a frame.
You never thought it would be a frame?
Not really,
No,
no.
but in your artistic mind, you knew you wanted those branches there.
Yes.
And that's how it developed. What if there was no art ever offered in school? What would you think?
Well, I'd be kind of upset. I mean, I really like art and like to learn more about it, so I enjoy art quite a bit.
Okay. And tell me, have you ever thought about doing art as a career, or do you have another profession in mind?
Well, I wanted to be an optometrist, but I would always like to continue with art. So.
Good idea, because you know art is good for one side of the brain,
Yes.
but it's good to work both, right?
Yes.
Yeah, excellent. Well, I look forward to seeing more of your work, and we'll look at you later on today. Look at your artwork. Do you see how different yours is from everybody else? Look at this, Bryce. Brilliant, brilliant blue. Brilliant, brilliant orange. Brilliant yellow. And it's not even in the bird, but you still did a wonderful bird. Your artwork stood out.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. Now I want you to tell us, please tell us, why did you choose such brilliant colors for the background? What was your thought process?
Because the bird was a darker color, they have darker colors, so the background had to have brighter colors.
And you wanted to bring that bird out, is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Excellent. See, you do have something to tell us about your bird. And that is one of the reasons I think it was chosen for being on the Art Honor Wall. It stood out. Thank you, Bryson.
Yep.
This is Aubrey Miller, and Aubrey has a piece of artwork that is strikingly different from anybody else. What do you think I have noticed when I look at your artwork that makes it stand out?
That I've zoomed into it and tried to show the little details in it.
You definitely did zoom in. It's got the biggest face, it's got the biggest eyes. What made you think of doing that perspective of the bird?
Whenever I zoom into my art, I think it looks just a little bit cuter.
Like you?
Thank you.
It does look very cute because you like to do those big eyes, don't you? Yeah. And what else do you like to do in art when you're doing different kinds of art?
I try to make my, like the things that I use to color it or paint it, I like to do a different variety of things. Instead of just doing like plain color pencil or crowns, I like to do sometimes like charcoal or paint, but I'm not very good at painting.
No, painting is tricky, isn't it? Yeah. So you like to explore different media. And here your media was color pencil. Yep. Excellent. Have you ever thought about what you would like to do? Maybe if you want to be an artist, or have you thought of another profession?
I actually have thought about like 4 different. So I either want to be an elementary school teacher, possibly a lawyer, an interior designer, or like possibly an artist.
Well, you're in 5th grade. You have lots of time to think about it, don't you? Well, you keep exploring art, and because art is in all of those things that you just mentioned. Thanks, Aubrey. I'm going to see you later.
Okay.
This is Mary Kate Burgess, and Mary Kate, you and I spoke before, didn't we? Mm-hmm. And one of the things I learned about you is that you do competitive swimming.
Yeah.
And you do art.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful bird. Every time I look at your bird, I think, it makes me think of winter, and I don't know why, and I studied it.
Yeah.
You did some details. Tell us about the details that you put into this bird to make it look like a downy woodpecker.
Well, one of the details I did is where it's white, I actually did 3 or 4 different shades of white. And then the blue that I did for the background, it's also, I think it's 2 or 3 different shades of blue. And then in the branches, I tried to add shadows to it.
And is this something that Mrs. Hewlett has taught you about, using a lot of different colors to get an effect?
Yes.
Excellent. It really comes through. I am really curious about this. After we met, I thought, how do you do this? Mary Kate Burgess competes in swimming, travels in competition, and you really work at it. How do you keep that balance and do schoolwork and do beautiful art like this?
Well, because I mainly do art at school, so at home, because swim doesn't start till 5 every night, so usually after school I'll go home and I'll draw or I'll read, and so that's kind of how I get art into the schedule.
So it's kind of a relaxing thing for you? Excellent. You know how to have a balance. Excellent. We're going to see more of you in art and I hope in swimming. I want to hear about your competitions.
Okay.
The first person that I'm going to give a certificate to, and if I mispronounce your name, let me know so I can redo it, is Kevin Phillips. Kevin Phillips, hey, how are you?
This piece of artwork, the details you put into this, and this was just with colored pencil, but you brought out lots of different things in here. Did you copy this? I won't use the word copy. Did you use a photograph as a guide to see what this bird looks like?
I didn't know that I was going to use a background, but then I realized that everyone else was doing it. So I thought I knew I had enough room to make like a tree or something, so I made a tree in the background. And then, so while I was coloring my tree, I ran out of my brown color pencil. I kept breaking and I kept trying to sharpen it, but it wouldn't sharpen. And so I had to use a couple of different shades of that. And then same thing with the blue, because, yeah.
So we are going to have a great celebration here today. And tell us what you felt when you heard your name was called to be one of the 20 that was going to be on the Art Honor Wall.
Well, I was really, really happy, and I was super excited because it was my birthday too, and so I was just like, it was like a really happy moment because it was like one of the best birthdays ever.
Oh, so glad, so glad. Let's talk about the bird you picked. You gave it a lot of details. You got a beautiful crown to show that it is the downy woodpecker. Why did you pick the downy woodpecker? You could have picked the eastern towhee.
Because we have a bird feeder in our backyard, and that one usually comes to it. And I've seen it more often than the other one, so I like that one.
You like that one. You had a personal relationship with it. This is one of 20 pieces that's been hung here out of 3 middle schools. Out of 3 middle schools, your piece of artwork was one of chosen. How does that make you feel?
Happy.
Happy. What did you think when you heard your name called?
I don't really know what I was drawing a bird for.
You didn't know you were entering a contest?
I kind of did, but I didn't really know what I was doing.
You didn't. And you just did it, and just because you wanted to. Well, whatever you wanted to do, sometimes it ends up on being honored, like on an Art Honor Wall. This is great. Thanks, Kendall. Jaylee, I have looked at your artwork a lot because this is what's so striking about it. And I want you to help me understand why you chose to do these things. I looked at, you did something no one ever did. They put clouds. You put these big, beautiful, fluffy clouds in it. You look around at all the artwork, no one did that. What was your thought process when you did that?
Well, the background looked really plain, so I decided to add the clouds to make it pop a little more.
I see this beautiful crest on our downy woodpecker. Now, when you looked at the photograph, did the photograph have red flowers in it?
No.
No, you picked that. Tell me why you did that. Why did you pick the red flowers to stand out in this photograph? You could have left it plain.
Well, there was red in the bird, and so I feel like it would make it also, again, pop a little more. Just a little more detail.
And what I see is balance when you did those things, and it pops out for me. Your bird does pop out. It's not a distraction. It's just something I looked at for a long time and said, that's what's happening here. Thanks, Jaylee. Now, Caitlin, you take time on doing all these details of this bird, the eastern towhee. When you're in the middle of any art project and you are really into it, what are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about what I'm drawing and how I'm going to do it.
And how you're going to do it next? And does your mind go in any special direction about the creativity of it?
I try to think of something that no one has ever done before.
You want to think of something that no one has ever done before. Now, people have done the eastern towhee before, haven't they?
Yes.
How did you make this different for you?
I used a different background.
I see that. Most people chose
Blue
or white, and then they colored it. And you chose?
Yellow.
You chose a yellow piece of paper to do this. And what was your thinking when you said yellow? Why yellow?
It really brings out the bird, and the first thing you look at is the bird.
The first thing you look at the bird because the yellow's there, popping it out. Excellent, excellent. Now, have you thought more about art in other grades? Do you want to continue if you have a choice to take art, or is this something, there's other things you'd rather be doing?
I really like art, and it's probably the first thing I do.
That would be the first thing you would choose to do. Well, we're glad you're here today because your bird stands out as really an eastern towhee with the shape, the coloring, and this is just what they're looking for in the Federation when they tell people to do their artwork. That's why you're here on the Art Honor Wall. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Emma, every time I look at your piece of artwork, this beautiful bird, I smile. You know why I smile? You probably can't guess. I have a curiosity. You did a bird. This bird looks just like what it's supposed to look like. The eastern towhee. Now, tell me about these little hearts that you have here in this picture.
Well, I was trying to make them look, like go with the branches so it make the branch look more, like stand out and make it look brighter. That's why I put the pink in it.
You did, because you know what it does? It makes me want to look at it, the bird's eye. He's looking at us, isn't he? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was wondering because they look like hearts, but some plants have heart shapes, and I didn't know that, but that's what I saw. This is exciting that you are here today. Now, I've been looking at all of the browns and the blacks. Tell me, is there a style that you've been taught from Mrs. Hewlett that you have to do branches like that?
Well, she said that if we like to mix some browns together and make it really blend together and then make it really look cool and branches.
And you notice there is a difference. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is very impressive. Congratulations, Emma, for being here today on the Art Honor Wall. Paige, your piece of artwork is a curiosity to me because I have seen these birds doing a lot of different things. You chose to put your bird, the downy woodpecker, in a different pose than anybody else. What was your thought process when you picked this position?
Well, I just thought that it would make it look interesting than usually just standing. Because it's something less normal, like different. It's different.
And what is your woodpecker doing?
Grabbing something out of the wood.
Probably an insect or something? Yeah. And have you been doing a lot of artwork on your own at home in addition to all of this, or is this something that you just do it in the classroom?
Well, I do take lessons. I do take lessons every Tuesday at Magic Studios.
And so you have classes in another place besides?
Yeah, I take classes in a different place.
Well, no wonder you're here on the Art Honor Wall. You've been practicing a lot, haven't you?
Yeah.
This is great, Paige. We're going to see more of you, aren't we? We're going to see more of your artwork, and we're going to see more of you today. Good talking with you.